So in this episode we are designing football jersey evolutions until it's too much. You guys seem to love overcomplicating kids, so yeah, welcome after a short break, hit that subscribe button, and we are starting with Chelsea. But we'll also feature clubs from other continents. There will be 6 different clubs today, but let's get back to London. This is their basic kit. We'll quickly recreate it more or less, then we add some white and red details inspired by the logo, and that's level 1. Now let's add some side elements and a bit of texture on the upper part. And this is level 2, but it's still kinda boring, so let's upgrade it even more. We're thinking about how to really make this kit stand out, so we decided to reference the city's architecture, kinda like Dortmund did back in the day. We combined some iconic London architecture in this collage, added one effect, then another. Yeah, that's definitely kinda complicated. Level 5, I would say, but we are not done yet. Time for the most overcomplicated design. We added a symbol from the logo in the center, plus some lighter elements. The shirt was still a bit too dark, so we boosted the colors a little. Now let's put together the back of the shirts. Yeah, like that. Level 1, 2, 5, and of course the final boss, level 10. We also played around a bit with the numbers and name, and then we thought, can we push it even further? So yeah, we added gradient at the bottom and the same thing on the back, and as you can see at this point it was too much, so we are sticking with this version. Let us know what you think, but now we are heading to Italy. Welcome to Rome. Roma's debut on the channel. Their logo and whole identity are honestly perfect for this concept. So this is level 1, the basic shirt, right? Level 2 is just a subtle grunge texture. Let's add some stripes inspired by this kit right here. Very nice, but still kinda boring, so let's push it even further. Time for overcomplicate things a little. We wanted to keep the texture theme and stimulate the style of the wolf from the logo. So we layered texture after texture and ended up with this design. We boosted the colors, of course, and honestly this could still realistically exist, you know, in the real life, but now it's time for, I don't know, level 100, like the final boss. So we wanted to place something down here at the bottom of the jersey, and based on the history of their logo we went with a wolf's head that fits the whole design. And finally we turned the stripes into wolf claws, ripping through the shirt, and yeah, I think this is definitely too much. Now let's prepare the backs of the kits. So we pick the player with the most complicated last name, of course. First shirt, second one looks like this, third one, here the stripes only stay at the bottom like this, and the next levels look like that. All the designs one more time, let us know what you think. And you know, we would love to design kits for everyone who asks, but that's just not possible. Each video takes around 3 weeks to make and YouTube doesn't pay well, so we created a short course that teaches you everything you need to know to start designing your own jerseys. More than 100 people have trusted us already, and you know, no experience needed. You'll be able to create kits for yourself, your friends, or even your club in just 45 minutes. Links in the description. So a lot of you have been asking about Besiktas. We've already designed kits for Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, and some less popular Turkish clubs, so it was time for a big brand. 21 league titles, that speaks for itself. So their mascot is a black eagle, and they've had some insane kits inspired by it in the past. But first, let's set up the base. So level 1, level 2, the stripes, which are the most iconic part of the jerseys. The Adidas logo obviously has to be black. Now let's add some background texture and the wings. We definitely wanted to include wings up here at the top, but let's connect them in a more interesting way. Yeah, let's add them down here at the bottom too. This will connect with the back of the jersey. You'll see what I mean in a second, but let's try thinner stripes first. Yeah, that's also cool, but now it's time to complicate this concept. We started adding more wings on the front, and at first we made them red as a reference to the club colors, but that didn't really work, so we went back to black because, you know, it's a black eagle, right? We don't want to make it really weird. Let's do the back of the jersey right away. We picked the player with the most complicated last name one more time, and here the wings also overlap the number. A small black eagle at the top, and this is our level 10, but we wanted to push it even further because it has to be too much. So we made the wings more realistic, added some texture in the background so it all fits together nicely. The texture looks as even eagle scratched it, and instead of the wings in the center, these ones, we are placing a huge black eagle in full glory. It's a follow-up to the original Besiktas eagle. Some details needed to be fixed, and yeah, but at this point it's too much. We also made an alternative version with more of the red color, like that. I think it's done. It's definitely too much. All the designs one more time. We'll give you some time to watch them for a while, and honestly this might be our favorite concept so far, but in a moment we are switching continents. And if you need promo caps or even even animated ones, check out sports templates and use our code Dribbler10 to get 15% off every order, links in the description. So yeah, new continent unlocked, Asia, specifically Indonesia. We'll get back to Europe soon, so keep watching, but you know, there is a lot of Indonesian fans on the channel, so today's debut, Persija Jakarta. Very cool logo, by the way. They have never been in a lower league since a nationwide competition started in 1930, and that's how their jerseys look like. Usually the base is pretty simple, as you can see. So in the beginning we just added horizontal stripes as a follow-up to their logo, and we created a pattern like that, placed it over the whole jersey. It's also built on elements from their badge. Nice. So that's basically the level 2. But let's complicate it. We'll add some gold core on the top, sleeves and details, but that's definitely not enough. Let's add some texture over here representing Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, and then we created this kind of pattern, place it on the sleeves and collar, and that was our level 5, and that's considered done. Before complicated it even more, we put together a bag of the kits for each level, but now the fun part. We added additional stroke on these side elements and a flower texture on the top to represent Indonesia even more. You know what I mean. Let's zoom in a little because we want to add this kind of word pattern all over the jersey too, and boom, that's the cleanest design we've made today. Let's call it level 10, and here is the back of the same jersey, but now it's time to overcomplicate things until it's too much. We wanted to focus even more on the floral elements, so we made them way more visible. Some of them start spilling onto the front, almost like they are growing out of the jersey. A bit of it also goes down to the bottom. On the back they cover the number and the name. Very nice. Let's clean up a few details, and this is the final overcomplicated jersey. I think the previous level is our favorite one. We'll go to America too, as I mentioned in the beginning, but let's get back to Europe for a while. This one's gonna be really cool because we are heading to the Arctic Circle, Bodo Glimt. A few years ago, they were a pretty average club. Now they've become a powerhouse in Norway and a very solid team on the European level. Yeah, the Champions League run this season wasn't great, but they had a lot of unlucky matches. And not many people remember this, but a few years back, they absolutely destroyed AS Roma, coached by Mourinho at the time. But anyway, back to the point. The city is located above the Arctic Circle, and it's an amazing place to see the Northern Lights. That's the main inspiration for this kit. So level 1 is obviously a very basic jersey. Level 2 just adds some stripes, but those stripes are going to evolve. They start to represent the mountains, you know, the terrain, and you know, since the jersey is blue, it also symbolizes the sky. So that's where we put that wavy effect. Then we add another background pattern to push the mountain theme even more, and that brings us to, I don't know, level 5. But now it's time for the star of the show, the Northern Lights. We started adding lights at the top, playing with colors and trying to find the right composition, but it still didn't feel right. So we removed all the lights and decided to go more minimal. Now the lights sit at the top in different colors, of course. Let's put them also along the sides, but that's not all. We add a holographic texture to all the logos, so in real life the jersey would reflect light. Now for the back of the jersey, nothing too complicated here. We add gradient effects to the number and name, a small logo detail at the top, and we are done. Here are all the fronts and backs of all the jerseys from every level. Let us know which one you like the most. And okay, North America. You know, we don't visit North America very often on this channel, so it's time to feature the first Mexican club, Tigres, one of the most successful clubs in Mexico. And obviously the jersey has to be yellow because, you know, you are in Mexico. The super basic jersey is done. We only need to add a sponsor logo, and I still don't get why SAN companies sponsor so many clubs over there. This time we are designing the bag at the same time, and that's a really hard name to pronounce, so we are extending the Adidas stripes because that's how their shirts sometimes look. Let's add some extra sewing, stitching lines like that, you know. Paint the calves and the collar, same thing on the back, and that's level 1. Now it's time to have some fun, inspired by one of the best jerseys I've ever seen, their current away kit. We're putting a huge tiger head on the front and on the back, and maybe some pattern on the sleeves, yeah. Let's add some logos on the back, and level 3 is done. Time to make it more complicated. It's obvious, there is a tiger in their logo, name and everywhere, and it's also their mascot, so of course we're adding it right here on the front, but the colors feel a bit unbalanced, so let's paint that sleeve pattern blue. Already looks way better. Same thing on the back, and honestly, this is probably a version that could still exist in real life. Now we need to overcomplicate it, so it's too much. So, since tigers are pretty dangerous, we decided to add a texture that looks like claw marks, inspired by the previous kits we made. We need it on the upper parts too, and I think it's done. I don't like this version, I prefer the cleaner one, the previous one. One more time, all the levels so you can see all the details. Check out our course. We've also got social media templates in our store. See ya.